We are here in the Peace Park in Hiroshima with three guests to talk about the ceremonies that we saw this morning and the events that are going on here. And with us are Jack Lemmon, the actor, alias Ensign Pulver, to many people, who's making his first visit to Japan. Welcome.
Thank you.
And Mrs. Joan Crock, who is the widow of Ray Kroc, the founder of McDonald's, and herself the head of the Joan Kroc Foundation. And Norman Cousins, the author, editor, educator, who in 1955 arranged for the Hiroshima Maidens, as they were called, young women disfigured by the atomic bomb here in Hiroshima, to go to the United States for corrective surgery. Welcome to you as well. We were all there at a remarkable ceremony this morning. Yeah. I'm curious what thoughts and feelings it stirred in you. Mrs. Crock?
Profound sense of faith in the courage of mankind to rise from the ashes, and love and hope. And I'm coming back to America with more than I left, and that's a rededication to do everything in my power to work for world peace.
Mr. Cousins?
Well, when you're with a large group, you can be frightened because that group can be a mob, or it can be part of an overpowering emotional experience. And being part of 50,000 people this morning who were there with one thought in mind and spirit was, to me, a very moving experience, especially when midway through the ceremonies, some 10,000 doves were released into the air, and it seemed to me that they were carrying the soaring hopes of people not just here but everywhere, that some way can be found out of the present insanity.
Yeah. Mr. Lemmon, what did you think at that moment, at 8:15, precisely the moment the bomb was dropped 40 years ago, when there was in this ceremony a moment of silence?
Yeah.
All those people.
I could not help. It just happened. I fantasized, and for one brief moment, I tried, I guess, to imagine what it would have been like. I did not intentionally do it. It just happened. There was that silence, and I thought, boom, and of what it must have been like in that one brief second where everything just went into a flash of white, and then there was nothing. And I don't know, and then I started to cry.
Yeah. You've had a bit of a reunion here with some of the Hiroshima Maidens. Can you tell us about that?
They were at the airport, and before I knew it, I was holding a lot of young ladies, no longer young, of course, in my arms. It was like being reunited with your own family.
That's extraordinary.
Norman is having a banquet tonight with the maidens, and we'll all be there to meet them. I know one of them quite well because it's Norman's adopted daughter, Shigeto, and she's been a great help to us in Japan, interpreting, and she's been a help to you too, I think, Jack.
Sure.
Yeah.
She's a delight.
Mr. Lemmon, you haven't been that actively or directly involved in the anti-nuclear movement in the past that I'm aware of. I wonder if this galvanizes someone such as yourself, or what?
It does. It has not. I have not been overly active, let's say. I have just been the concerned citizen.
That's sort of like me, Jack.
And for whatever reason, my wife and I were invited here by the Cultural Foundation. And I thank God. I literally thank God that we were, because it has not changed any beliefs that I have had. My fear of what may happen if we continue the idiocy of just stockpiling weapons that are going to blow the earth up 700 times or more, you know, as if someone's going to win, or that there could possibly remotely be a controlled war involving nuclear weapons, you know, or a limited war in which mankind could ever survive, remotely, as on Earth as we know it.
I was reading in the new, excuse me,
That's
Jack.
right, love. It isn't that anything changed, I'm sorry,
No.
dear. All of those were there, they were just strengthened, reaffirmed.
That's the way I
The
feel.
exigency, the emergency, the true need to do
get
something
involved.
beyond the mentality of a 2-year-old just saying, I'll win if I have more, when all it is can lead to is destruction.
I was reading in the New York Times, and I don't know what person in our administration said it, but one of the two reasons given for not going along with the test ban is that we need to test weapons so that we can have and participate in a long nuclear war. What is that, 36 minutes?
Yeah, it's a comical notion when you're here. Let me, in the few seconds that are left, do you three feel or not that there should have been official American representation here? There was not.
I do.
You
I
do?
feel we should
Well,
have.
the president went to Bitburg. Why not Hiroshima?
He said never again at Bitburg, at Belsenbergen actually during the Holocaust, or about the Holocaust. It should have happened here. Never again.
Never again.
You know,
The
it's
theme
a pity
for
that
this.
those words were said there and not here. Now, granted, he is recovering from an operation,
Someone
but where
should.
in the hell is Schultz?
Yeah.
That's what I want to know.
Where's
All right.
Schultz?
Thank you all three very much. We appreciate your joining us here.
Thank you.